G'day matey potatoes, it's time for more patch notes. Before we get into the Notemon stuff, I have a pretty big announcement. I've just launched my indie game studio. It's called Croaking Kero, and I've got a website for it at croakingkero.com. Check it out. This is the studio name under which I'm going to be publishing my games from now on, including Notemon, Notemon TD, and Bob Ross Sliding Paintings Museum, which is launching at the end of October on Bob's birthday. Let me know what you think of the name, the logo, the site, and all that. I created the Croaking Kero newsletters to deliver news by email. You can also subscribe specifically just to get emails when I release new games if you'd rather not get regular newsletters. So head over to croakingkero.com and check out my past and upcoming games, and subscribe to the newsletter. Last thing about Croaking Kero, I've set up a YouTube channel for game trailers and stuff, but I'm still tossing up whether I should start uploading patch notes to Croaking Kero instead, or keep them on this channel. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and remember to give me any feedback about Croaking Kero. By the way, thanks to Marcus from Ciactro, the developer of Kiwi64, for his feedback and advice while making the logo and website. Last month I showed off the coast area and asked for feedback. Well, the actual real Kermit the Frog commented saying it looked good, but the dock kinda looked like lava. I agreed with that feedback, so I spent some time remaking the dock sprites and came up with this. I think it's a pretty big improvement, but as always, let me know if you think it needs more work. Thanks, Kermit! Most of the changes to Notemon this month were in the battle system. I decided to go through and make all the moves for Peckin and Clorkin so that I could see how a complete Notemon move list will look. It turns out that the way I was programming attacks, making a custom function for each one, was taking way too many code tokens. Each move took up about 30 to 100 tokens, and each Notemon needs at least a few unique moves, so I was going way over budget. I decided to make my own simple move scripting language, which is an array of numbers passed to a decoder function, which can perform all the different actions a battle move can have, including conditionals and relatively in-depth stuff. That saved me an average of about 30 tokens per move, but I was still never going to be able to fit all the moves I wanted into the cartridge, so I figured out a way to compress these command arrays into strings which were extracted back into arrays at runtime, which reduced every single move's code token usage to 3. I'll probably write an article about this like I did for the binary save system to help out some of my fellow Pico 8 developers. I also added visual and sound effects to the battles. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but I'm pretty happy with them so far, especially Wayno's cry effect. I think these simple effects make the battles a lot more interesting and entertaining. As always, tell me what you think in the comments. In my spare time this month, aside from working on Croaking Kero, I started working on a Go game in Pico 8. Go is an ancient board game originating in China, where it's called Weiqi, at least 2600 years ago. It has only a few simple rules, but incredibly deep strategy arises from them, which is why some people call it the greatest thinking game of all time. I've been learning the game as a hobby for a few weeks and, like many things in my life, I got inspired to express it with game development. This Go game started as just a little thing to fiddle with, making no promises of completing it, but I've really been enjoying working on it, so I'm probably going to finish it. Right now it has to go on hold for a little while, since in order to program decent AI, I have to actually become decent at the game myself. Expect to see more about this Pico 8 Go game in the future, and if you're interested in learning Go, I highly recommend you start playing, because it's really a great game. If any of you already play Go, let's have a chat about it below. That's about it for this patch notes video. Remember to head over to croakingkero.com and take a look at my past games, subscribe to the mailing list, and as always, give me feedback about everything I mentioned in the video. Cheers!